how like about the nuke, right? There have been exploration of like, oh, radiation gave me my abilities and stuff. What if it just happens to be that Van got lucky because the radiation mixed with the virus in his body gave him the ability to become Zeus or something. I don't know. That makes more sense to me. I'm just saying.
Zach said that he is the next Zeus and he'll be scarier than the one that, because I didn't think that this Zeus was that scary. He was very
Yeah,
comparatively
but
is very polite, you know.
Zach means scary as in menacing, or Zach means
Exactly.
scary and how no and how he could think,
Exactly.
how Vanderohe looks at the world.
Exactly.
That's what I think Zach. I don't think it means. I don't think he looks more
Yeah.
scary in terms of makeup and stuff. I
Yeah.
think the way he thinks, he's the next evolution of
Yeah.
zombie. It takes millions of years for man to be generated. Was it from monkeys to what we are now? It's taken such a short space from zombies, shamblers, alphas, and then Vanero was the next kind of the species of the zombies, the next kind of evolution. And I think he's more aware,
Hmm.
and he maybe even
And he was
talks
a
as an
philosopher.
answer.
So he's definitely,
Yeah,
by default, he's smarter than other humans. So that in zombie form is scary.
yeah,
So yeah, I
that's what I think he
definitely
means by
think that
scary.
his scary didn't mean physically haunting. It just means he's probably much stronger, much smarter. He's probably more aggressive. Because Zeus, look, Zeus wasn't as aggressive or violent as, as a typical zombie king would be, right? He was only he was only fighting against something that was bothering him and was just not like, oh, human, let's kill. It was not like that, right? So what if,
They're not animalistic, yeah.
yes, what if Vandero becomes this, oh, I need to conquer and make more of us? What if his approach is more aggressive than Zeus's was? Because Zeus just wanted to be in his own kingdom and, you don't bother me, I won't bother you type of thing, right? What if Van actually wants that, actively wants to conquer and make more of himself? That
Or
would make him scary.
or
He is a
or
soldier.
stop, yeah,
Yes.
or stop the people who originally tried to do this. The
Yeah.
governments and stuff like that. Like they nuke. Like I think it's interesting because Zeus is probably the only one that can reproduce because of who he is and whatever's in his DNA and his blood. So he impregnated the female zombie, the
Yeah.
queen. She was obviously going to have a baby. I think that child would have been able to pregnate other zombies as
Yeah.
well, and that's how they repopulate. So in the meantime, he was getting people like the guy who was shot by Lily and
Cummings?
yeah,
Cummings, yeah.
is it Geeka? Is it Geeka or what's her Geeka or something like
Gira.
that? That character's name.
Gita.
So I think he would he would bite them to turn them into alphas. So that's
Yes.
another way of repopulating until babies were made. So then they could repopulate naturally.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
here's something
but
about
hold
that.
on. That's what I was getting to you, Ascended. Like you say that he got lucky with the radiation and thing, right? Maybe again it goes back to, like you said, it's just Vandero is Zeus, right? The thing you said. Maybe even if that's not a thing, maybe Vandero also had some sort of experimentation in the lab, and maybe he got injected with alien blood too. Because to me, Zeus, Zeus's properties are different from other alphas, okay? Because he's basically the alien hybrid, whatever. He has the blue blood, so that makes him stronger than everyone else. So Vandero is also very strong, and by the end we see him basically getting bit, but it took him forever before he even transformed. He just felt sick, right? And we didn't see his flesh completely torn apart or anything. We just see a bite, and there's so many things like that. And then he resisted the radiation because anyone else would have just been killed in minutes, but he got out of there in full radiation. We could still see the heat wave and the sparks flying, so it was not like the radiation went away. It was still there, 100%. And he still got out of there alive, and took all the things and went back, and then nothing happened to him. So you could be totally right. He could definitely have the alien blood. He could be Zeus, or he could just be another victim of the experimentation who also has the alien blood.
I would.
And he,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, because like Vanderohe knew like to heat up zombie meat, so the zombie would go after it to trigger the points at the safe.
Yes.
And so he knew that zombies were attracted to meat that was hot and stuff.
Yeah.
His symptoms, he was cold when he was on the plane instead of hot, and his body was obviously fighting the virus because he wasn't turning straight away.
Yeah.
But I think what will happen is he'll get a fever, he'll probably get sick, but his body, because of the radiation, will beat the virus, overtaking him entirely. And plus, the bite wasn't deep into his blood.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. The next evolution of zombie. I don't think he's going to be a complete alpha like zombie. I think that's what the next evolution is, because of his symptoms and stuff, and he'll overcome. I think he's a little bit immune to it, and maybe the next people that he bites might become similar to him fast, but aware, and maybe they communicate better and stuff.
And to ascend his theory about him being Zeus, there's one more small Easter egg in the opening scene where actual Zeus looks at Zeus and Olympus, and then on the screen we see Omari Hardwick's name. So
yeah,
that's also
and
cool
the Omega tattoo, that's on his chest. He has that in real life.
Yeah, I know. He also has one more tattoo here. It says Redemption Story. That's interesting.